Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us for the second episode of Hey Mando, a podcast by two Star Wars fans, Ryan Ray and myself, Kyle Souza, about The Mandalorian on Disney+. Ryan.
Kyle, real quick, if you're watching this on YouTube, the first episode is only audio. So it's an audio exclusive for our podcast listeners.
There you go. Subscribe to it somewhere. But if you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe to this YouTube channel to keep getting these and other great video content.
Maybe.
Videos. Yeah, maybe.
Maybe not.
You know? I've done more on a maybe in life, so go for it. All right, now because it's Star Wars and you never start at the beginning of the story, our first episode here is about episode 4 of season 2, just like Lucas would have wanted. Because in something that will probably end up being a 50 chapter story, we're going to start with chapter 12. Because that's what you start 1/3 into the story. You do the middle section, because that's the part that's the least important in any story, the middle. You go back to the beginning, and then you go to the end. Yeah. There's never any regrets that way.
We are the true Star Wars experts because we've waited this long to start. Like, all of the other pretenders started episode 1, season 1. Like, who does that?
They're just jumping on. They're like, oh, let's talk about this cool thing. No, we said, let's figure out if this is a cool thing and if we even want to talk about it and if it's worth talking about. And then we'll shout into the void.
Which I'm still up for debate over if it's not. If it was anyone else, I probably wouldn't do this show.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you for lowering your standards for me.
Let me just show you, Kyle. Let me just show you, and for those listening, what we're doing season 2.
Episode 4.
Episode 4, chapter 12.
Yes.
Which makes confusing as all get out. Okay. So if you go to the 18-minute mark, and I'm going to put this on the YouTube so if people can see it. Here, let me turn my screen share on. If you just go to show, you will see what I'm talking about here. Okay. Kyle, can you see the screen here?
I can. Wait, I have a question.
Yes.
Are you allowed to do this, or is this like copyright infringement?
This is a fair use.
Fair use. Great. Let's do it.
There we go. You ready?
I'm all about fair.
This is the problem. See if you can pick out my problem with Mandalorian, and here it is.
Hurry up. Purge the drive. Destroy it.
Did you catch it?
It was all black for me.
It
went to all black. I couldn't see it. No, like it's showing me what's supposed to be a video.
Communist propaganda.
But for some reason, it's all black.
Okay, so just to break it through. So it's the scene where they're running into right before they...
See, I saw that. I see the little preview video, but as soon as you hit play, I got nothing.
I wonder if Disney's got it blocked.
Hurry up. Purge the drive.
Okay, so it's the scientists in front of the tanks.
Right, and so if you watch it, so I'll pause.
Hurry up. Purge the drive.
So right here. Okay, there they are coming around the corner with their guns up, right? Right? Can you see
Right. So is this about the guy in the jeans? Is that your problem?
No, but just look. So there they are with their guns up, right? Okay. Then we cut to the people looking. Then we cut back, and it's the same shot. Them around in the corner, their guns are down, and they better raise their guns. That is the epitome of this show. That's some, like, it gives you weird shots, weird storylines, and things that just don't necessarily. It's like, okay, I know Carl Weathers directed this episode. I'm not hating on Carl. Maybe he's got a long directing career, but could we not edit that to where you don't show the same clip literally seconds apart?
That makes me wonder. I want to see if Carl Weathers does, in fact, direct a lot of things, because I was like, oh, he did a pretty good job for his first time. It did not occur to me that this wasn't his first time directing something. So I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna go on IMDb real quick.
And wait for that. It's not. I mean, listen. It's not in the world.
He has directed 13 things, including this episode.
I can't imagine they're much better than this. It's not the end of the world, but it's like, okay, Disney, you can't edit that a little bit better where you show the same shot. I understand the second shot is a close up, but they already had their guns up in the first scene. And so then you go back to them having their guns down. And to me, that's kind of the editing is kind of the choppiness that we see throughout this series. And this episode embodied that for me, Kyle. It's like, okay, you teased Ahsoka and you give me Nevarro.
Well, so as soon as we heard about Ahsoka, I knew there was going to be at least one episode.
Spoiler alert.
In between when we see it. They're starting with episode 4 of season 2. I'm not sure how concerned they are with spoilers, but yes.
This is the perma spoiler alert for the rest of the podcast that we record ever. We will never say that word again.
No, we should say it every episode, especially if we talk about any of the movies that have been around for decades. We should be like, spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. Okay, spoiler alert. There it is. That's your one for the entire series that we record.
There we go. Okay, so I knew there was going to be at least the episode where they say Ahsoka or hint at her, then the episode where he's going to find her, and then the episode where he actually finds her. At a minimum, the story of finding Ahsoka Tano is a 3-episode arc.
See, I thought they would have found her at the end of this episode. So I knew he had to go on a mission because he has to go on a mission every episode. Like,
no, I think to your point.
Good.
Yeah, to your point on our first audio only episode, this show redefines slow burn to a caricature of what a slow burn is.
Why is that, you think?
I think it's a mixture of wanting to cash in as much as possible on as little story as possible. Okay. Mm-hmm. I think also they're having fun with it and they just want to have fun with things. And so they can keep doing these side missions and have fun with those. And I think that they don't also know exactly where they're going to end up. Right. So they're just like, oh, we'll do this. Now we'll do this. You know, hey, let's figure it out.
Well, okay, and that's my so episode 1, season 1. I thought, here we go, we're setting up for something big. And then episode 2, season 1, I was like, oh no, like this is what it's going to be. Like start, stop. And that's kind of, you know, and so through season 1, I've kind of hit or miss on how I felt about them. And season 2 has kind of been the same thing. Start, stop. And I don't think that plays well in modern 2020 TV. I think season 1 did well because you had Baby Yoda or the child, and that carries you a long way. And the child's still cool. He's still cute and cuddly and all that. But at this point, it's like, okay, the child's peaked as far as what he can and can't do. You know, he's not going to be raising ships out of the water. And so he can add some comic relief every episode. But we need, you know, we know he has powers, you know, he can move with his mind. So it's kind of there for comic relief now. That's all the child can really offer, and to some sympathy with maybe softening the Mandalorian up. But you know, if you've watched the other Star Wars canon, you have some questions about what Ahsoka can actually offer, or what she might say, and those are actually pressing questions that go to Nevarro and trying to blow up this Imperial base. Now they did add a twist. We're talking about, I know, but like, I would much rather hear what Ahsoka has to say than what we watched the last episode, minus after that clip ended, you know, the 10 seconds of information we got, and the payoffs to me aren't really worth the build up. If I enjoy the show, but generally speaking, they build up to stuff, and the payoff really doesn't consistently land.
I think that they are trying to kind of mimic real life, and a lot of real life, you know, our days are 24 hours long, and we make use of 16 to 20 of those hours, and most of it is minutia, and then there's, you know, a little bit of exciting, cool stuff for most people. I watch a lot of TV and have small children, so mine's nonstop action and adventure. But for most people, you know, it's a lot of minutia, and then, you know, just a little bit of something. And maybe they're trying to mimic that, where they're like, no, let's make this more realistic. Maybe they've gone too realistic with the storyline.
Okay, so let's maybe pick up at the beginning of this episode. So he's on Nevarro because he needs to get his ship fixed, which got
Yes.
a few episodes back, which we'll talk about when we do that episode in the future. So back.
Yes. We will talk about the past and the future.
Yes.
And then we will then talk about the future after that.
Yes.
Further into the future.
Our Back to the Future episodes, which are not about the movie, but the show, are yet to be recorded because it's back to the future. So anyways, so
you want to watch the episodes in release order, but we talk about them in hatchet order.
Exactly. Because if you're listening to this podcast, you have nothing better to do with your life. And so
that's wow. What about people watching this podcast, though?
They really have.
Those are some primo people.
We love you. All of you.
We do. All of you.
Out of our heart. All three of you.
Thank you. Thanks to both of you.
Especially
Mama. Thank you so much, Mama.
We love you. Okay, so he goes to Nevarro, and as soon as he gets off the ship, they're like, hey, we gotta go talk business. And it's like, oh, gracious. No.
All right, so I have a problem with the timing of this because they say, oh, these repairs are going to take so long.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Oh, no. I couldn't hear what you said. Because
they should release them all on one day so we can binge them. I agree.
Oh, that time. No, I meant timing within the episode. So I'm trying to make use of my hands for everybody on the video. So I don't know what to do with my hands. No, so he lands the ship and they're like, wow, this is in bad shape. They make a big deal about how bad shape it is. And he's like, well, we need to talk business. And he's like, I'm just here for repairs. We're like, well, that's going to take a while.
Yeah.
Okay. Apparently it takes like 3 hours because by the end of the episode, it's flying just fine.
Right.
And he's defeating, multiple TIE fighters.
And the child is at school, presumably.
And the child is what? Oh, in school, yes.
I mean, that's an important time point.
Yes. So he finishes. So sometime before school lets out for the day, he gets there late. They check in, so he doesn't get marked tardy or absent. Just tardy.
Might not be up to date with modern schooling practices. They may have long hours.
Maybe. I mean, it's probably not overnight though. I wouldn't think.
I mean, the sun never set, so we don't know.
The sun never sets. The sun never sets on Nevarro.
It never did. I don't know. It just never did. That's all I'm saying.
So so that's one of the things that I have problems with this episode. And I promise this entire podcast series is not going to just be complaining about it. But you know what? We complain because we love it.
No.
Okay.
Mainly complaining. I complain because I don't love it. You complain because you love it.
I complain because I want it to do better.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah. It's like when I criticize my dog. It's because I want him to do better.
So the time doesn't bother me necessarily. I get your point. I didn't catch that. That's why you're the Jedi Master. I'm the Padawan learner.
That's great. I didn't catch that whole shot thing you were talking about.
Well, I mean, I am a film critic, so.
No.
I mean, I've got like 3 subscribers on my YouTube channel, so.
We all have our faults.
We all have our faults. No, I it just stood out to me. It's one of those things like, wait, what? I didn't catch that, man. That's a good point. The letdown was at the end of the episode when he has to go back and get the child. There was no payoff there.
Yeah, there was no battle. He apparently just went in and was like, I'm here for the child. And they're like, okay, sir, have a nice day.
Please send baby Yoda down to the principal's office. Like it was like I was expecting like guns blazing, someone holding the child on a speeder. It was nothing. Like
Moff Gideon with the dark saber to his throat.
Right. Moff Gideon wasn't even on the planet.
No.
So I understood his. Well, okay, let's get that in a minute. So, yes, I think there's some. The time thing doesn't necessarily bother me necessarily. I get your point. I think it's very, very true. More of, again, they build to things that don't really pay off. And so you don't know. Because on some level, they're building the Mandalorian to be a superhuman. Like, he is Iron Man.
Yes. Yeah.
But he's so when he's like Iron Man and Batman, like he knows all the moves and he has the armor to protect him. But his instincts, like with that, you're expecting because he thinks it's going to happen, something's going to be true. And not only does it not happen, he ends up figuring out that this didn't happen. In this case, the child being taken. But guess